Do you wake up every morning saying to yourself, "Gods, I hate the Gauls," and just feel like attacking them constantly? Well, so this is for you. If you were that Roman who enjoyed that intro in Rome 1 that just steeled your blood against the Gauls like it did mine and made you play Julii after Julii after Julii campaign just to enjoy stomping them, well, you're in the right spot. And I've got a great one for you today. This one is going to be the Averni versus Rome. So yes, this is Rome getting the opportunity to take it to the Gauls, but will they win? We all know that the Gauls are much more proficient in Rome 2 than they were in Rome 1. In Rome 1, they were honestly a bit of a pushover, as were almost every faction versus Rome. Rome was definitely a superpower in Rome 1. In Rome 2, I would say that they're a solid faction. I don't think I would call them a superpower, but they're definitely a solid faction. Now, let's check out the Averni army first. We've got Noble Horse, very dangerous melee cavalry. The barbarians have some very potent melee cavalry, and short of like Ozzet Knights, I don't know that there's a whole lot better out there. Maybe like the Noble Blood Cav or Bactrian Nobles, they're also quite good. But these the Noble Blood or Noble Horse may not cost trade with some of those cheaper heavy cavalries that are also really good, but they are very, very capable heavy cavalry. And then we're going to have Heavy Horse, which again is very capable heavy cav, as the name suggests, heavy horse, and indeed, they are heavy horse. We're going to have unit of Celtic warriors on either flank here. There's going to be light infantry for support against such things as this Numidian cavalry roaming up for Rome. We've got some Levy Freemen out supporting flanks and along the front for their javelins. These guys, also known as MLG Freemen, definitely got nerfed whenever the spaghetti lines took a hit, but still very potent for their price because of the javelin volleys, not because of any of their stats. Then we have Chosen Swords. Chosen Swords are very solid mid-tier swords. Then there are some Oathsworn here in a second line. And then interesting, we've got a couple of unit of Gallic Hunters in the field, long-range archers that have the stalk ability and snipe, which means that if they haven't been spotted by the enemy, they will actually fire unseen. Up front are a couple of Celtic slingers, and then we have a savage dog in the back. These can be quite good for running down skirmisher cavalry or sending after enemy skirmishers. A nice pick, and if played right, can be very valuable. On the Roman side, I see some Hastati over here on their right flank, and we're going to see the same on their left. And as far as the infantry line, we have Praetorian Guard, more Hastati, Praetorian Guard, and Legionnaires. So 2 extremely heavy infantry, 1 pretty solid one, and then 5 pretty decent light infantry to go into the fight. The Hastati won't be on the level of a Chosen Sword, but the Praetorian Guard will match pretty much everything on the battlefield. The Oathsworn could certainly probably go head-to-head with them, but I mean, it would be a very tough fight for both units. So that should be an interesting one. Saki Equites for the Roman cavalry in the back, and the Legatus, and then of course we saw the Numidian Cav. We do have gladiatresses to back up some of the light infantry, so this is an interesting pick that Rome has here to add a little bit more oomph to the melee. They got a couple of auxiliary Balearic slingers who are already pretty well owning those Celtic slingers. So let's see how this fight unfolds. Rome kind of repositioning here, and an aggressive charge coming in from the Averni, which will crash into that Hastati. Hastati do not do well against these heavy mass units like the horse, and then they're going to get clocked by an Oathsworn immediately after. But there's a Praetorian Guard backing that one up. However, the numbers here aren't terrible for the Averni. They have the Oathsworn and a Chosen Sword, but here comes a Gladiatress killing spree straight into the Oathsworn while the Hastati retreats. That might be a really nice play there. Indeed it is. Wow, look at the numbers starting to drop on that Oathsworn. Those Gladiatresses coming in angry there and looking for some Gallic blood. Speaking of Gallic blood, let's check out where those Hunters are at. They are firing away now. They are visible, but firing. And they are trying to put some hurt into the Praetorian Guard for Rome. And then over here, the Celtic warriors being swamped by Hastati. There is some Levy Freemen moving to assist. The Roman cavalry moved over there to that left flank, right flank for Gaul. Gaul is warding off. I'm going to call him Gaul, even though it's the Averni. Wow, those archers are starting to put some work in against Praetorians. They don't have a lot of armor piercing, but they do nice damage. These Praetorians have got to turn their shield into those archers, or at least get into like a testudo or something. The Gladiatresses are going to pull out of the fight with the Oathsworn. They were going to try and substitute in the Praetorian Guard, but nicely played here by the Averni to say, hey, nope, I'm not giving you a free Oathsworn there. I'm going to bring in a fresh unit, and I'm going to continue to hammer away your Praetorians with those Gallic Hunters. So those Gallic Hunters are definitely getting their money's worth at the moment. Look at this support, the Levy Freeman, MLG all the way, blocking the Roman cavalry, and here comes the heavy cav charge. Not a great situation for Rome, and then Rome's gladiatresses are going to get caught here on this heavy cavalry charge, but a nice counter charge here by the Saki Equites support them, because those gladiatresses will get absolutely eaten alive in a fight versus the heavy cav. But look at this, another heavy horse rolling through. The Legatus is about the only thing left to fill the breach, and this Oathsworn that came in fresh is really causing problems for Rome. But look at this, nice play by the slingers here, the auxiliary Balearics, putting some hurt into the enemy Oathsworn, but Rome facing a bit of an uphill struggle here in the middle. Those Gallic Hunters are making life quite miserable for the Romans. That Legionary has also taken brutal fire, so those Hunters have been effective. Though right there they took a gruesome charge before falling back, so not a bad play by Rome there, but that Oathsworn is going to be a real problem, and then this one's a problem right now as well. Let's see what's going on in the cavalry department. Rome kind of holding their own over here. They held together that flank. Did well. This Chosen Sword here is going to be tough to overcome for Rome. Celtic Warrior could be overcome. There's still a lot of skirmishers. Savage Dogs must have turned their dogs loose earlier. I haven't seen them in the fight yet, so I don't know exactly where they ran. I do see a Balearic Slinger missing, so it's possible that they ran down a Balearic Slinger. Gladiatress is adding some nice support to this flank fight, my bad. This Legionary did cut through, got some of those Gallic Hunters, and then killed some Levy Freemen here as well. Those Gallic Hunters, though, still alive, still firing, causing a lot of damage. Both units of Praetorians are still alive, as are both Oathsworn. I would say that the Praetorians are a little bit lower in numbers than the Oathsworn are, and that's certainly a benefit for the Gauls here. And then look at this charge here. The heavy horse is going to destroy that auxiliary Balearic Slinger. Rome could be okay. I can't tell exactly how this one's going to fall yet. It says it's in favor of Averni, and I'm kind of thinking that as well because of the skirmishers that are free. But there is still a pretty large number of Romans in the battlefield. My biggest concern for them is dealing with the Oathsworn. And if they did deal with the Oathsworn, would they have enough units left to deal with the skirmish and this noble horse? That remains to be seen. Here comes some auxiliary infantry. Nice spears trying to pin in this heavy horse. The heavy horse does have mobility. Feasibly could get away from them. There is a Levy Freeman back here. Let's see what's going on here. The Oathsworn are some of the last ones in the fight here, and they are doing tremendously well. Gladiatress is trying to hold on that fight as well as Saki Equites. Look at this Gallic infantry kind of falling away here. That's going to be a loyalty coming in. I don't remember exactly what loyalty does. I think it's extra AP. No, unbreakable. So they will become unbreakable with a killing spree. So those gladiatresses will get quite a few kills, though I do believe they are about to die, and I believe the Oathsworn are going to finish cutting through the Roman main line. Praetorian Guard were not able to overcome this time. I think they did in our last video, but I don't think it's going to happen here. The Gauls are just raining death down on the Romans, and it is having a major impact on the battle. So I do think the skirmishers playing a really pivotal role here in the destruction of this Roman infantry. If those Gallic Hunters hadn't done the hit point damage that they did to the Praetorian Guard, you can see just what a different fight this might have been for the Oathsworn, right? They were already quite low here, 38 entities left. So yes, that would have been a very dangerous fight for the Oathsworn had they not had the support of the skirmishers. So this looks like a pretty big victory for the Averni here based on the number of units left. And I guess in a way it is, right, having that number of units left. However, I mean, if those Gallic Hunters hadn't gotten that damage in, this could have turned ugly the other direction, I think, fairly quick. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know 100%, but that's just a guess on my part from what we've seen here. So I think well done by the Gallic Hunters. It doesn't show either one of them with a chevron, which is odd to me because a lot of their damage was plowed into Praetorian Guard. So that is strange indeed. But we did see a Chosen Sword Oathsworn picking up chevrons, 2 chevrons on that one. So a good performance by the Averni Heavy Infantry, as expected. The Barbarian Heavy Infantry is good. It's pretty much the best in the game. You could say that the Roman infantry's up there. It's just a different kind of infantry, right? They prefer that grind-out fight, whereas the Barbarians prefer the charge and then slug it out. But a great game here between Soul and Hotel Soap. Appreciate them. Again, appreciate all the replays they send in. If you would like to get more involved in playing in Rome 2 battles, I do have a link in the description to Soul's Discord. It's very active. There's a ton of people playing there. It's fun. I have gone and played with them there as well. I have a Discord as well, which I believe is also linked in the description. You can find people to talk to and play battles with there. So if you want to be involved, feel free to come join. Of course, no pressure if you don't want to. It's up to you. Anyway, appreciate them. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more battles in Total War Rome 2.